Hello everyone, welcome to Truth Report. My name is Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in. Today we talk about Emma Powell's resignation as the DA's International Relations Spokesperson and the diplomatic scandal that likely triggered it. Because make no mistake, this isn't just a resignation, it's a warning shot about the price of telling the truth in South Africa, or in South African politics. On the 28th of July 2025, Emma Powell stepped down from her role, citing threats, intimidation, harassment, and even illegal surveillance. But here's the kicker. She wasn't under fire for corruption, incompetence, or misconduct. She was under fire for doing her job, for confronting brutal regimes, calling out South Africa's cozy ties with dictatorships, and crucially, for saying out loud what the ANC wants hidden, that our Department of International Relations and Cooperation, or DIRCO, has cozied up to authoritarian governments. And what did she get in return for her courage? Threats, isolation, and now a resignation. And let's connect the dots, shall we? Earlier this month, before Emma Powell's resignation, reports emerged that the United States rejected Mcebisi Jonas. So why would the Trump administration turn him away? Well, according to multiple reports, Washington wasn't just rejecting Jonas, they were rejecting DIRCO, specifically its Director General Zane Dangor, and the ANC's broader foreign policy stance. They reportedly found DIRCO's recent actions hostile, anti-Western, and ideologically aggressive, especially its close ties to Russia, Iran, Cuba, China, and even Hamas.
South Africa has withdrawn from America and our allies in recent years while increasing diplomatic relationships with our foreign adversaries, deepening cooperation with China, attacking our greatest ally Israel at the International Court of Justice, downgrading Taiwan's diplomatic presence, and condoning violence and race-based persecution against minorities.
Now enter Emma Powell. She had been one of the few in Parliament consistently raising alarms about DIRCO's shift towards authoritarian regimes. She warned about ideological capture. She spoke plainly about South Africa's growing alignment with brutal governments and its impact on our global reputation. So when this Envoy scandal hit the headlines and Powell suddenly resigns, is that a coincidence? I don't buy it. The timing is too neat. Was she pressured to fall on her sword? Was the DA trying to distance itself from the fallout? Or did the ANC apply pressure behind the scenes? One thing's clear, a truth teller was silenced just as the truth became impossible to ignore. Sources in Washington say South Africa's foreign policy has become too anti-Western. That's diplomatic code for we don't like who you're in bed with. You don't get turned away from DC unless you've made friends with regimes they consider hostile. Let's be honest here. The DA is a party that likes to play it safe. It's allergic to controversy, even the good kind. Powell's message was too loud, too direct, too uncomfortable. She was highlighting truths about South Africa's growing authoritarian alignment that most politicians are too cowardly to say aloud. So what happened? Either the DA panicked and asked her to step aside behind closed doors to avoid further, blowback. Or Emma, under immense personal and political pressure, maybe chose to resign on her own terms, which, you know what, I respect if that's the case. But given the DA's track record of sidelining truth tellers, look at what they did to Ronaldo, Ramon Cabanag, Andrew Whitfield. There's a trend here. People who rock the boat, speak against the grain, get axed. It's like the writers of Game of Thrones are building towards the climax of the Red Wedding, only in this case, Blue Wedding. And it's not too far-fetched to think someone at the top said, Emma, it's time. And if that's true, then I call BS. In my opinion, of course. But let's zoom out for a second. South Africa is being isolated on the world stage. The US has shut the door on Ramaphosa's chosen envoy, and our credibility is in shambles. And yet, DIRCO continues to double down, aligning with regimes that suppress freedom, oppress women, and criminalize dissent, and undermine democracy. Emma Powell stood against that. She used her position to defend constitutional values and speak up for South Africa's true allies, those who believe in freedom, democracy, and human rights. But who replaces her? Probably someone safer, someone quieter, someone who won't call out to the ANC's ideological bedfellows. And that should concern every single South African. Emma's resignation sends a clear message. Telling the truth in politics comes with a cost, especially when that truth embarrasses powerful people. This wasn't about strategy or missteps. This was about principle. She spoke plainly about what DIRCO is doing. She warned us about the direction our foreign policy is heading, and now she's been silenced, or at the very least, pushed to the margins. And in typical South African fashion, the real villains, the corrupt, the complicit, the cowards, remain untouched. So here's my take. Emma Powell did what most politicians refuse to do. She put the country before the party. And the DA, if they had anything to do with this resignation, should be ashamed. Because if the Truth Report stands for anything, it's this. You don't punish people for telling the truth. You stand with them. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, ladies and gentlemen. Do you agree with our thoughts on this, or do you agree with me? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Truth Report. And with all that being said, your Truth Report is in.